Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man, shit, nigga. They turn their head over, nigga. Okay, when Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no hoe to lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, it's an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening. Is in fact if revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jake. So I war, we gonna run the summer. It's gonna be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he said something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raise up the chain. Bring shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feet, so you will never get that hand back. He bitching about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified rubber's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Shalom, shalom. Mic check, mic check. There we go. Salakia for the delay. Make sure everything to wall with the audio. Check something there real quick. Go. All right, we good to go. Check something there. All right, Shalom Israel. We the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. This is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. We'll break down the scriptures from a linguistics perspective. It's something that your Christian pastors have been ill-equipped to do for so long. It's ridiculous that it's even anybody in the Christian church. Like, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we've been relying on Christianity for Catholicism. We've been relying on spirituality. We've been relying on Kemet. Anything, you know what I mean? Anything that we can get our hands on, man. And everything that we've got our hands on so far has let us down. But we've been teaching the truth according to the Bible since 1969. And even though we teach the truth according to the Bible, even though we reveal things that have never been revealed to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans before, the ISUPK is rejected. And that's how you know that we the home of the truth. Because the things that we say are rejected because we don't say what the Christian church says. You know what I mean? We don't say what the Christian church says. We don't say that God loves everybody because it's not true. We don't say that salvation is for everybody because it's not true, because not everybody needs salvation. You know what I mean, we make a clear distinction between who the Lord loves and who the Lord hates. And because we are the chosen people, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, namely, we are the chosen people of the Most High God. There is a certain way that we have to behave. Just because, I mean, the Most High choosing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is is half the battle. You being Black, Hispanic, or Native American, that's half the battle. But once you realize that, once you learn that you are the Lord's chosen people, then you got to find out what you got to do as the Lord's chosen people, because that's, you know what I mean, being the Lord's chosen people, that's not a light thing. It's not a light thing. The scriptures say in Psalms 140, I believe 147, 19 and 20, where the Lord showed his statutes to the children of Israel, paraphrasing. He hasn't dealt with any nation. As a matter of fact, let's get that. I mean, just so it's crystal clear for anybody, any brothers and sisters who don't understand. So, Lakia, bear with me 1 second. While I'm getting this, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put this link in the chat as well. And anybody who would like to just join the live stream, you can go ahead and click that link. And we can get right into it. You can ask your questions live. Just make sure you come respectfully. You know what I mean? Make sure you come like you got some sense. And we can have, you know what I mean, you could be a part of the class. You can learn, you can ask your questions, you could participate in the class. But I just ask that you just act like you got some sense. You know what I mean? Don't come in here, you know what I mean? Don't treat the priests and prophets and the ISUPK. Treat the brothers that sacrifice their time and their energy, you know what I mean, to teach you for free, just like how you treat those college professors. Salakia. But you know what I mean? Treat these brothers that come up in here and share themselves to the world and study to show themselves approved and come to teach you for free. Treat them with the same respect you treat them college professors, your high school teachers, and your, you know what I mean, your you know what I mean, whoever you learn from. Treat them with the same respect you give to your Christian pastor, your Muslim imam, or you know what I mean, treat them with the same respect you treat that Catholic priest who has been, you know what I mean, violating you and your family for God knows how many years. I mean, you wouldn't go into any of those things that I just named and try to interrupt or talk over or to try to teach them. You wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Hey, shalom, sister. I see a Cold Diamond up there. I ain't seen you in here before, but welcome. You know what I mean? It's good to have you. The focus for today, we're gonna work on some penmanship. All right. Well, that's the title of the class, penmanship. But if you got any specific questions, you can go ahead and ask those as well, and we can get into that. You know what I mean? This class is for you. You know what I mean? And brothers and sisters like you who want to come in here and are sincere about learning about our culture. I mean, this is the Lashawan Qadash class, if you're not familiar, where we teach the Hebrew language, which is what is most commonly known, the Hebrew language. But in the Hebrew, it's the Lashawan Qadash, or the Holy Tongue. So we learn how to read, write, and speak Hebrew. So that's the focus of the day. But again, if you got any specific questions that's off topic, you can ask those as well. I mean, don't be shy. All right. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Salakia, I was going to pull this precept. While I'm getting it, Salakia, good night. While I'm getting it, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share it with your loved ones, your brothers, your sisters, your family, your aunties, uncles, cousins. You know what I mean? Salakia, bear with me just 1 second. Well, make sure you share with your loved ones and all your family and all of that. And if you so happen to be watching this and we not live, some people, you know what I mean, back times, I still do it to this day. But if you black in classes and you watching a class that might not be live today, then you can always hit that QR code in that top corner, and morning, noon, and night there will be a brothers, plural, in that chat to answer all your questions and solve all your problems, no matter what the topic is or what the nature of your problem is. There are several brothers in that chat. Once you hit that QR code, so like it's on this side. Once you hit that QR code over there, there's several brothers in that chat, several very capable brothers that can solve any problem that you have, answer any question that you have. All right. It's a tool right there, you know what I mean, that you are more than welcome to use. A shalom, see Stacy Salazar. Shalom, good to see you. I see brother Zakarwan. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Barakatah. I see you checking in. I mean, Most High in Christ, mighty. You know what I mean? Last time I talked to you, ain't got to say it online right now, but last time I talked to this brother, you know what I mean, his brother was getting ready to preparing to take his officer test. You know what I mean? Lord willing, very soon we'll see this brother, you know what I mean, become an officer, authorized to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible. All right. See JB Cali, Shalom. I mean, Thwada for checking in. Just want to remind y'all, brothers, I put that link in the chat. So if you want to join the live stream, you can always hit that link, and then I'll add you to the stage. Again, I just want to remind you, if I add you to the stage, please act like you got some sense. I mean, just act like you got some sense. Act, you know what I mean? We ain't gotta fight, we ain't gotta battle, we ain't gotta debate. You know what I mean? It can be that if you want it, but you know what I mean, just act like you got some damn sense. All right. It's brothers and sisters who are actually sincere. All right. Brothers and sisters in here that are actually sincere. That, you know what I mean, I can spend my time. I'd rather spend my time teaching those brothers and sisters who are actually sincere about learning who they are according to the Bible. You know, in Chicago, you know what I mean, if I could sidebar for just 1 second. I mean, you know, in Chicago, I believe the other night, not too long ago, they was ICE, so-called, I'm gonna put them in air quotes because it was looking real sketchy. You know, ICE been sketchy for, you know what I mean, for the past couple months. You got plainclothes police officers claiming to be ICE. You know what I mean, just picking up Hispanic brothers and sisters and taking them God knows where. And you got, you know what I mean, the real ICE, who are also in plain clothes, refuse to identify themselves, are masked up, taking brothers and sisters from their homes, from their jobs, from their schools, and taking them God knows where. You know what I mean? Ain't that interesting? Sister, you said, please address what should be done in the meantime. Some people are moving as if this isn't ending. Salakia, which means forgive me if you're not familiar. If you could just elaborate on what you're talking about so I can answer your question as accurately as possible. All right. What should be done in the meantime? All right. And that's an important question. That's a very important question. I mean, but yeah, if you could just elaborate, I just want to make sure I understand what you mean before I answer. But you know what I mean, in Chicago, you got plainclothes, or you all over the US, all over, you know what I mean, you got plainclothes ICE. It's crazy because you can't even identify the fake ICE who are I don't know if I can say this online, kidnapping Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and taking them God knows where. And you got ICE who are taking Hispanics and Native Americans from their homes and their jobs and their schools and taking them God knows where. It's crazy that as I'm describing these two types of people, one who the America would identify as a criminal, and the other would identify as a government institution, a government authority, you can't even, as you describe them, you can't even identify the difference between them. Like I just described both of them. I just described the kidnapper and ICE, a government institution, and they sound the exact same. I mean, but you got that going on, and then while that was going on with Hispanics, black people was talking about, oh, this ain't our fight. This ain't our fight. We're gonna sit this one out, right? And shalom, sister Thwada, for checking in. Lord willing, you know what I mean, you stay a little while. You know what I mean? See, a shalom, Yahweh Shemar Latah, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But while this is happening to our Hispanic brothers and sisters, you got you know what I mean, black people talking about, oh, we're gonna sit this one out. This ain't our fight, right? And then they start targeting Native Americans. They start going on Native American reservations as if they haven't been catching enough hell. I mean, they've been going on those reservations, taking people, you know what I mean, disappearing people. I think that's the politically correct term. I mean, disappearing brothers and sisters and assaulting brothers and sisters on those reservations and doing all sorts of diabolical things. You know what I mean? And then now it's finally in the backyard of so-called black people, so-called African Americans. Where in Chicago, they just kicked in the door of, you know what I mean, so-called African American family and just detained everybody. You know what I mean? So now it's more important than ever for us to realize who we are and for us to take this seriously and for us to, like the sister said, where do we go from here? That's an important question. I believe that's where you're going. I'm gonna give you a second, Cold Diamond. You know what I mean? To clarify a little bit. Otherwise, I'll just answer in general. Because I believe you might be talking about. Are you talking about the ICE agents? Are you talking about ICE agents? You know what I mean, coming into the black neighborhoods and starting to attack black people? Is that what you're talking about? All right, but if you, I'll give you a second to clarify. If not, I'll just answer that because I think that might be what you're talking about. And if I'm wrong, you just correct me. Okay, I see. Okay, I see. The Most High told us in Nehemiah to keep one hand on your work and one hand on your weapons. Some people don't know how to prepare for the onslaught that is coming for us. So my concern is those people are not aware of how these demons move and better prepare them. I'm going to tell you something, sister. You know what I mean? Because you're absolutely right. There's a lot of people that don't know how to prepare for what's coming. And what's more, you know what I mean, what's more terrifying is that there's a lot of people who think they know how to prepare, who think they, you know what I mean, got a plan. They think they know what they're doing, and they don't. And that's, in a lot of ways, that could be a little more harmful than not having a plan at all. Or I'll say it's about the same. You know what I mean? Not having a plan at all, not knowing how to handle certain situations is just about the same as not having a plan at all. You know what I mean? So I'll tell you, this is the first thing. I'll start at the bottom. I'll start at the bottom. And then it's about to go right into the precept that I was going to pull anyway. So Lakia, bear with me as I pull it. Going to go to Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. All right, because this is the part that we always want to skip, right? Like we always forget. We always we be ready to have precepts ready. We be ready to have and this ain't directed at you, sister. I'm not you know what I mean, I ain't talking about you personally. I'm just talking in general. All right? But a lot of brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, we grew up in a Christian church. So brothers and sisters, we know a little bit of the Bible. We know precepts. Or I ain't gonna say we know the Bible, but we know precepts. We know scriptures. We can go to John 3:16 and recite it off the top of our head. We can go to the book of Kings, First Kings, Second Kings. We can go to the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and quote scriptures from all these different books off the top of our head. But we skip this part. We want to. A lot of us is revolutionary. We got a warrior spirit that the Most High gave us. The Most High is the Most High is a man of war, and He gave us this warrior spirit. So a lot of us is hoarding weapons and what they call them preppers. A lot of us is hoarding weapons and what's it called supplies and food and water and this, that, and the third. We do all of those things, but this is the thing that we forget right here. Let me share this. Salakia. But this is the first part. All right. So this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Is gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. So what you see in Chicago, what's going on with these ICE agents, when you see that they kicking in your door and got no regard for the old and no regard for the young, like it says in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, they don't give a damn about you. They kicking in your doors. They zip tying your children, saying F them kids. Putting you in the back of a budget box truck. Imagine that. The police coming, police kicking your door and say, we the police, open up, obey what I say. They kicking in your door with weapons and guns. They masked up with bulletproof vests and flash grenades and all of these things. And you thinking that you should comply with these people. Or it could cost you or your loved ones your life or your freedom. And then they put you in, they zip tie you, they manhandle you, throw you on the ground or whatever they're gonna do to you, and they take you outside, and then they put you in the back of a budget. Imagine that. They put you in the back of a U-Haul, damn near. Imagine that. How crazy would that be? Where somebody, a stranger, kick in your door and say, I'm the police, open up. And do you go outside? You already confused because you being arrested for God knows why. You being arrested for God knows why. And do you get outside and they put you in the back of a U-Haul van, not a police van, not a SWAT van, not a ICE van or nothing like that. They put you in the back of a U-Haul, an Enterprise box truck. That's what they doing down there in Chicago. What you got to understand is we Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, it might take us a while to understand it. Because like I said before, when this was happening to Hispanics, when ICE was focused on Hispanics, Black people bowed out. Black people bowed out and was like, this is not my fight. And now here it is, your fight. Now they putting, just like they was putting Hispanics in the back of vans and shipping them to God knows hell where. Now they putting your black behind in the back of a U-Haul van. I don't know if you've seen the back of a U-Haul van, Zakar, but it ain't too comfy for people. Especially if you zip tied. It ain't no seats back there. It's just, it's just a box. It's just an empty hole in the back of a truck, and they just throw you back there, zip tied on your face. Talking about I'm ICE, come with me. No explanation for why you here. No explanation for where you going. No explanation for why your neighborhood. Just you in the back of a U-Haul van. And you just got to trust and believe. Take the risk of, because a lot of times, and I'm coming around to your question. I pray that I'm answering it, sister. But the reason why it's so important for you to understand this is because a lot of times, like, I've seen a lot of brothers that say, don't answer your door, lock the doors, use your Second Amendment right, or not Second Amendment, I believe Second Amendment, that's the gun right? But, use your right to bear arms, and, if somebody try to kick in your doors claiming that they ICE, these people are giving you terrible advice, telling you, to, use your weapons against the police. use your weapons against, America's government. And that's not going to work out too well for you. So that's the first thing that you want to do is not lean to yourself. Don't lean to what you think you know and what in fact not effing around coalition and the Black Panthers and the Foundational Black Americans and the Black Lives Matter and all these different the Proud Boys, all these different factions that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans join themselves to try to militarize themselves. I just saw in my hometown, Cincinnati, Lincoln Heights, they militarizing themselves. You got brothers and sisters, arming up in tactical gear, patrolling the streets. That's fine and all, to make your family and loved ones feel safe. But what you don't want to do is lean on your own understanding. Because it's getting ill out here. And what you got to understand is what's happening right now is the Lord. The Lord is, what I mean by that is the Lord is, hardening the heart of your oppressor, so that he can destroy them. So that you can, the Lord, it's prophesied in the scriptures that these things would happen. Well, your oppressor would, your oppressor, there'll be a time where your oppressor will be so cruel and harsh on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that we would have no choice but to come together and join and cleave to one another. And that's what you're seeing right now. So just to answer your question, sister, the first thing you want to do is join with your brothers and sisters. So what I would tell you to do off the rip is to, go to the ISUPK website. Sister, if you're still with us, what city are you in? See if we can get you hooked up. But what you want to do is get on the ISUPK website and find the nearest school to you. Whatever the nearest school to or the nearest major city to wherever you are, and call that number. Call that number. Talk to the camp leader. Get under the Lord's protection. That's the first thing that you do. Because right here, this is the embodiment. The ISUPK is the embodiment of Zephaniah 2:1, where we gather together, the nation that are undesired by these oppressors. All right. And then, if you want specifics, if you want specifics on what to do from there, then your camp leader will give you further instructions, further specific instructions on what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what the plan is, what the contingency plan is. If this don't work out, this, that, and the third, or whatever is required. But they'll give you more specific instructions from there. But the first thing you need to do is join with your own people, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. And what we also do is we like to, when we say gather together, what we like to do is we like to gather together in our own little, in our own little bubbles. Like we'll gather together, we'll go to, we'll try to join ourselves to, like we've been in a Christian church. We've been with the Muslims. We tried the Black Panther route. We tried the Not Effing Around coalition. We did all these things. What we'll try to do is gather together with our own little clique. And that's not what this is talking about, is Zephaniah 2:1. It's talking about us as a nation to gather together. And that's what we're doing in the ISUPK. So the safest bet for anybody, is to come into the ISUPK. Call the number of whatever city. I see, sis. Call the number to any city, to the city that's closest to you, that got a school, and then go from there so that we can. You said I see. You said ATL. We got a school down there in Atlanta. I believe it may be about 2 or 3 schools out there in that area. But I believe we definitely got one in the Atlanta area. We was just down there actually last year for the Passover. It was real glorious. You know what I mean? So, sister, you go to the ISUPK website, isubk.com, and then find the school, find a number for Atlanta. All right. We were always the target. They came for everyone else to set off a riot. However, they didn't get the response from us. They're going to ramp it up over the winter, definitely spring. All right. What do you mean when you say we were always the target? I mean, are you talking about black people? And what do you mean when we say we were always the target and they came for everyone else? So who is the we and who is the everyone else? I just want to be clear, and I appreciate your participation, sister. You know what I mean, and while you respond to that, I'm gonna go ahead and get this next precept, and then we're gonna get into the Lashawan Qadash lesson. All right, and Salakia for the delay and the water for your patience. All right, so this is Psalms 147, 19 and 20. So he sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. I mean, all of these things, this is talking about the Most High and his chosen people. You know what I mean? He's not dealing with, well, actually, let's go to the next verse. So he said, he sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. So he shows his word, these scriptures, these prophecies, these you know what I mean, this language, this you know what I mean, these law, statutes, and commandments, he showed them unto Jacob. Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob was a man whose name was changed to Israel, and he had you know what I mean, he had sons which became the 12 tribes of Israel, which is where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans come from. All right, just to get a little backdrop on that. But it says he showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. So his statutes and his judgments, so it's like it says in Deuteronomy 28, says if you follow these law, statutes, and commandments, this will happen. If you don't, these curses will come upon you. So those things belong to Israel as well. Meaning, well, let's read this right here. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. I mean, okay, so I see you said melanated people. So is the we melanated people, and who are the other people? You said they came for everyone else. Who is the everyone else? I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying, sister. And forgive me for my you know what I mean, for my questions. I just want to make sure I understand you before I respond. But you know what I mean, the Lord says that he ain't dealt with no other nation, and as for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So why are we talking about this? Because these things that we're talking about, this language that we're about to go into, they belong to only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the curses that we go through as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for not following his law, statutes, and commandments belong to only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from the Most High. The Lord isn't dealing with any other nation, meaning no other nation of people is dealing with the curses that the Most High put on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for not following his laws. You know what I mean? Which means what? Not every nation needs saving. So a lot of times when we talk about American slavery, whether it's black, Hispanic, or Native American, particular you know what I mean, particular instances, whether you're talking about Haitian or Salakia, whether you're talking about Haitian or Caribbean, or whether you're talking about Haitian or Caribbean or Native American or Hispanic or Dominican or so-called black people, you know what I mean? Only Salakia. But when we talk about American slavery, every other nation tries to like link it or try to relate it to what they like the hardships that they went through. Now every nation has gone through a little something, you know what I mean, a little hardship, but it's nothing like what the Most High put Blacks, Hispanics, and or more what the Most High, you know what I mean, the curses that was put on the Lord's children for not obeying Him. You know what I mean? But they talk about the Italians. When you talk about American slavery, they or what is it? The Irish, I believe it was, like to talk about indentured servitude. You know what I mean? Or when you talk about American slavery, the so-called Jewish man like to talk about the Holocaust. You know what I mean? Those things ain't got nothing to do and don't even compare to the hardships of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And I appreciate your response, sister. And this is why I was asking, because a lot of times we try to separate Black people. Like, I don't know if you've heard of the FBA or Foundational Black Americans, but we like to separate ourselves, Black people from Hispanic captivity, and the Black Hispanics from Native Americans. And, you know what I mean? We like to separate ourselves. Like, but what you got to understand is Black people, so-called Latinos, like you said in the chat, Haitians, we are all the same people. You know what I mean? So when they came for so-called Latinos, that was an attack on the Black household, the Black family. When they came for Haitians, you know what I mean, that was an attack on the Black household, the Black family. You know what I mean? We cousins, we family, we're one family. I mean, we might have been divided, you know what I mean, based on our captivity. We were taught different languages. We might have been taken to different places in the world, but we are one family. So it's important that we don't separate ourselves. And that's why that's why I went to Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. All right. So and that's why the first step before we can even talk about like what we should do as far as a nation or as an individual rather, is we need to gather together, because it's not much that we can do as individuals. You know what I mean? Because like, and it's not a dig on you, you know what I mean? Not to harp on you, but a lot of us think the way that you just the way that you think, you know what I mean? Where we'll separate Latinos and Haitians, or we'll lump them in with, like, I see you got Asians in there as well. Asians are not our people, but we're so, you know what I mean, we're so destroyed as a people where we don't know where we come from. We don't know who's our family, who's not. Then we end up exiling our family and lumping them in with our enemy and treating them like an enemy. You know what I mean? Treating one another as enemies. So the first thing that you got to do is get into the ISUPK, and you can learn who's your family and who's not your family. That's the first thing that you should do before you get any guns. I mean, you can get guns. You know what I mean? You can get guns, you can get food, you can get water, you can get, I mean, prep all you want to. But before you know what to do with those things, you have to come into the ISUPK and learn who you are. I mean, otherwise you just collecting. I mean, you just prepping for nothing. You prepping for some oppressor to kick in your door and take everything. That's what you prepping for. I mean, so that's why it's important for you to do that first step. All right. All right. So I pray, you know what I mean, Cole Diamond, I pray that, you know what I mean, get to see you at the next Passover. We get to see you, you know what I mean, in a school. Lord willing, you get in contact with the camp leader out in Atlanta. You get on that, you follow these instructions, get on the ISUPK website and get the number of whoever is over that zone, and you get connected with brothers who can teach you your culture, so that we don't make the gross mistake of separating ourselves from our brothers and sisters. All right. Salakia. But the whole point, and it's so important, because only, you know what I mean, we're the only people that need saving. Not everybody needs saving. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the only people that need saving. You know what I mean? The Christian church teaches you that Christ coming back to save everybody, and Christ died for everybody, and you know what I mean, God loves everybody, and this, that, and the third. And Salakia. But the Christian church, you know what I mean? Everybody pretty much teach you that you can be whatever you want to be, and you gotta love everybody and this, that, and the third. I mean, not everybody needs salvation. I mean, if Christ is coming to save everybody, you know what I mean, we know who the you know what I mean, who the Most High in Christ is coming to save black Hispanics and Native Americans from. You see it on the news. You know what I mean? You see it on the news every day. But who the hell does the so-called oppressor, who the so-called white man need saving from? If the Most High is sending Christ to save us from everybody or save everybody, who is the white man getting saved from? I mean, he run the world. I mean, he run the Diamond District. He run every industry that you could think of. You know what I mean? He's the president of the United States. You know what I mean? He's the senators. He's the Republicans. He's the Democrats. He's the left wing. He's the right wing. He's the, you know what I mean? Your oppressor owns everything. So when Christ come back to save everybody, who is white people being saved from? You know what I mean? The Asians, you know what I mean? They got Chinatown. They got they separate Asian, you know what I mean? You go into any black neighborhood, no matter where you from. You said you're from Atlanta, sis. You know what I mean? You could go to any hair store in Atlanta. Well, Atlanta, I think, is pretty black owned. But you go to any chicken joint. You know what I mean? We was just out there a couple months ago. You know what I mean? I went to a couple chicken joints, and a lot of them was owned by the Asians. You know what I mean? You go to any gas station, and it's owned by the East Indians or the Asians. You go to hair stores, East Indians or Asians. You know what I mean? You go to try to get a property, and it's owned by an oppressor of some sort. So who do the Asians need to be saved from? I mean, who does the East Indians need to be saved from? They come over here and get stipends to go to school, start businesses, get loans for properties and things like that. They don't need saving from anything. I mean, they getting paid to oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? And the number one enemy, you know what I mean, is our oppressor. You know what I mean? That's the one. That's the one that black people need to be saved from. And if it ain't for the Most High to step in and to save blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know what I mean? Your oppressor is going to continue to keep his foot on your neck. All right. But I pray that you follow them instructions, sister, because them gonna be instructions. You know what I mean? We didn't already seen the progression of this thing where a couple months ago, again, they was attacking Hispanics, and black people thought that they could take a back seat. And we was telling black people, like, you know what I mean, they coming for you. They coming for you. And we was like, as black people, we was like, oh, we gonna sit this one out. As if attack on Hispanics is not an attack on black people. And then now you see that they attacking us the exact same way. And now we're scrambling for answers. You know what I mean? Well, we tried to forewarn brothers and sisters, and it wasn't heeded. So I pray that the warning is being heeded now, and that, you know what I mean, any brother or sister under the sound of my voice, you follow the instructions. Go to that ISUPK website, get the number to the nearest school, and, you know what I mean, because these brothers, you know what I mean, we've been established since 1969. Commander General Yohana, you know what I mean, the brothers in the ISUPK, we didn't have a plan established since 1969. We don't have to scramble. We don't have to try to figure out who our people are and who are not. We don't have to try to scramble and try to figure out what we're gonna do. This plan has been established since 1969, and we're just extending, you know what I mean, brotherhood to any black, Hispanic, and Native American who wants to be a part of that plan, so that you don't have to worry when you see ICE kicking in doors. All right. But I think that's it on that. All right, but yeah, not everybody don't need saving. You know what I mean, your Christian churches is liars. You know what I mean, these fake Israelite groups is liars. You know what I mean, these individuals, you know, these spiritual. You know what I mean, they don't know what the hell they talking about, man. All right. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Tonight we're just gonna get into a little bit of penmanship. Let me see. Let me go back into my notes. So we're gonna go over a little bit of penmanship for the Syrian Hebrew, or what's known as the modern Hebrew. All right, it's a lot here. Salaki. Salaki, it's a little bit of a delay, but just bear with me. Make sure we still locked in. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and expand my screen. All right, most high in Christ. All right, so just to recap, you know what I mean, brothers and sisters probably already know this, but if you don't, there's two versions of the Lashawan Qadash, so to speak, right? So you got the ancient Paleo Hebrew, which is the let me close some of these tabs. As a matter of fact, you got the ancient Paleo Hebrew, which is it's like the pictographical symbols, the pictographic. If I said that correctly, Salaki, but it's the pictographic symbols that you see. Let me see if I can pull it up. Salaki, let me see what I can pull up. But you got the two different here we go. Let me see. Forgive me, Salaki, it's a little bit of a delay. But once it catch up, you know what I mean, it'll show you. I'll try to show you the different. Here we go. Salakia. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that. Should be able to see that. But the top row. So you got the top row. That's the pictographical symbol. That's the pictograph symbols, or the ancient Paleo Hebrew. It's read from right to left as opposed to left to right, like your oppressor reads. The characters Abba Gada Hawaza Khata Yaka La Manasa I Patazakwa Rasha and Ta. All right. And those are the characters. Those are the characters at the top. And then you got these characters at the bottom. I don't know if you can see my mouse hovering. Anybody watching online? Be larger. Jesus Christ. To lock you. But at the bottom, you got what's called the Assyrian Hebrew, where we pretty much, to keep it short, we pretty much assimilated our language and our culture, the way that we spoke, the way that we wrote our language into one of our captivities. You know what I mean? Into the way that they wrote. You know what I mean? To sort of hide, to kind of disguise our language. Because several times, if you look, you can go back to the book of Exodus. I believe that's one of the first instances You look at the book of Maccabees, which is another instance, first Maccabees and second Maccabees. You look in the New Testament, where we're called Greeks, where we're called Romans, where we're called Gentiles. You know what I mean? We're called all these things because it was unlawful. It was made illegal and punishable by severe and brutal, you know what I mean, unaliving, you know what I mean, for the internet, for TikTok. You know what I mean? Well, it was, you know what I mean, punishable by some brutal, inhumane unaliving for even professing yourself to be a Jew or professing yourself to be an Israelite, for keeping your feast days. You know what I mean? For having your children and refusing to abort your children or unalive your children, for raising your children in the customs that was passed down from our forefathers. You know what I mean? So in this instance right here is no different. When we went into any of our captivities, we had to kind of disguise our language so that, you know what I mean, we could preserve our nation. You know what I mean, so that we can continue to, you know what I mean, try to keep our culture. You know what I mean, there was a lot of us that assimilated, which is again why we were called Jews, or not Jews, why we were called Gentiles and Greeks, you know what I mean, and Romans in the New Testament. You know what I mean, but it was a lot of us that did assimilate. You know what I mean, that did just go ahead and become a Greek, did become a Roman, did become as the nations round about us. You know what I mean? But it was some of us that tried to hold on to our culture, and this is a lot of times this is how we did it, where we had to kind of disguise our language or try to, you know what I mean, much like how we do did American slavery. Like we would sing songs of, you know what I mean, we would sing songs like what is it? I'm drawing a blank. What's the song? Dang. But the old slave songs like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, coming for to take carry me home. You know what I mean? That song is about, you know what I mean, the chariots of the Most High God coming to take Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out of captivity. You know what I mean? But we disguised it as music. You know what I mean? You look at history, it's a lot of things like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like things like the Underground Railroad. We had to disguise, you know what I mean, the pathway to a place that was, you know what I mean, a little less cruel, a little less harsh on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in captivity. You know what I mean? We had to disguise it as even in the way that we talk, our slang, we had to disguise the way that we talk so that we don't, you know what I mean, end up arrested or end up getting harmed by our oppressor. You know what I mean? I believe even in our hair, you know what I mean, the way sisters, you know what I mean, braid hair, you know what I mean, was a lot. I believe it was a lot of times it was maps to, like, you know what I mean, freedom and safe houses and, you know what I mean, safe places and things like that. But that's just how we had to be because we went through so many captivities, and us even professing ourselves. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Salakia. Salakia. There we go. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Salakia. And as I'm looking for this, if there are any questions or comments that we can go into. If there are any questions or comments that any brother or sister has, you go ahead and put them in the chat as well. You know what I mean, we'll get those answered as well. In the meantime, let's go to the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6. All right. Share this tab. It says, so I'm gonna read this. All right. So the book of the book of Zephyr. I'm tripping. Salaki's book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, and I'll start. Let's start at verse 1. Not long after the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So this is always how they started. You know what I mean? If any nation of people, whether it was the Grecians, the Romans, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, you know what I mean? If they wanted to destroy the children of Israel, the first thing that they did was to destroy, you know what I mean, to make it to where you couldn't keep your culture. That was the first thing. You know what I mean, you look in the book of Exodus, I believe the first chapter. You know what I mean? The first thing that they did was to make the women unalive the male children. You know what I mean? Which is who the culture and the you know what I mean, the lineage is passed down through. You know what I mean? Like it says in Numbers, I believe 1 and 18. You know what I mean? The lineage is passed down through the seed of the father. You know what I mean? And the first thing that they did was make the women unalive their firstborn. You know what I mean? Which is where abortion comes from. But our people, our sisters, was so strong-willed because it was against the Most High to abort children. So they was having children anyway. They was having the children by themselves, or the midwives would try to come and you know what I mean. The midwives was told to come and take the children, to take the firstborn boys, or to take the boys, and you know what I mean, take their life. The sisters, you know what I mean, they was so zealous, they was having the children without the midwives before the midwives could even get there. You know what I mean, let me see what this sister said. See, white Asian people, we are all. See, this is what I'm talking about, sister. Yeah, just go ahead and get in contact with them brothers in Atlanta. You said you were in Atlanta, right? I just want to make sure I'm correct on that. But whatever major city you in, get in contact with them sisters, or it was like with them brothers out there, and they're gonna get you straight, all right? You know what I mean? White Asian people, we are all to be saved from damnation. You know what I mean? Complete separation from you. See, I just read in Psalms 147, 19 and 20. The Most High doesn't know these other nations. I just read that. The Most High doesn't deal with these other nations, sisters. And that's important for you to understand, because as ISIS kicking down the doors of Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, we worried about white people and Asian people and East Indians and you know what I mean, Ukrainians and Palestinians, and we worried about every other nation, when Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the most downtrodden and destitute people on this earth, man. It's time. That's why I said it, that's why it says in Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 1. You know what I mean? I didn't say it. The Bible said it. It's time for us to gather together. You know what I mean? That's why I answered your question like this. Is the first thing we got to do is gather together, because we such a kind people, sis. You know what I mean? We such a kind and considerate and compassionate people that even as we're being destroyed by our oppressor, we're worried about the salvation of our oppressor. You know what I mean? So I mean, make sure you follow them instructions, sis. All right. That's really the only way that we can help you. All right. Let's see. But I'm gonna read it again. Second Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1. Not long after this king set an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So that was the first thing that they do. They compel. The first thing that they do if they want to destroy you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, is they try to compel you to not follow your laws, statutes, and commandments, because the Most High only deals with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And You know what I mean? White people, Asians, East Indians, you know what I mean? Any of these other people that are outside of Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, they can break the law, statutes, and commandments. They can eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. They can celebrate Christmas. They can, you know what I mean, rob and unalive and abort their children. They could do, you know what I mean? They could do all sorts of things. They could commit adultery. They can do all sorts of heinous things. And the Most High is not dealing with them. But when we do those things, the Most High deals with us and he punishes us. You know what I mean? I'll give you another one. In Amos chapter, I believe it's the third chapter, I believe, where it says, "You only have I known of all the nations of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities." You know what I mean? He's not dealing with the white man or the Asian man, sis. You know what I mean? He's not dealing with these other nations. He's dealing with us. So he's going to punish us for our iniquities. You know what I mean? He makes a clear separation. Right? And because your oppressor knows that, the first thing that they do is they try to make you separate from your culture. That's why, you know what I mean? That's what we're reading right here. Verse 2, and to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem. So after they convince you to turn away from your culture, your law, statutes, and commandments, they go into your temples and pollute them. And to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. So they pollute your temples, you know what I mean? They destroy your schools. They destroy your temples. They destroy your places that you gather, you know what I mean, to serve the Lord. And then they turn it into something different, you know what I mean? They turn it into the Christian church. They turn it into Catholicism. They turn it into Christianity. They turn it into, you know what I mean, some garbage. You know what I mean? They take away your culture and make you serve their culture. They took away your culture, and now, you know what I mean, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they go to college and get you know what I mean, they get college degrees. You know what I mean, they get college educated, and they can go and pledge Greek. You know what I mean, they join these fraternities or sororities and pledge Greek. I mean, imagine that you go to a HBCU that's supposed to be all Black, and then you go and pledge Greek. That don't even make sense, but that's just what happens in America. That's how deep Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have been destroyed in America. And that in gargarism of Jupiter, defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in a place. Drop down to verse 6. Or verse 5. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. So this is just going into what I just was talking about. You know what I mean? Instead of serving the Most High God, who is a living God, you know what I mean, you serve dumb, you know what I mean, wood and stone, which cannot talk. You know what I mean? You serve wood and stone. You know what I mean? Instead of being a man of war, you got brothers, you know what I mean, in the Christian church, singing and dancing and stomping and crying and falling over and wearing three-piece suits with the slippery Stacey Adams, lemon pepper steppers. You know what I mean? Instead of us being, you know what I mean, dressed in warlike apparel and wearing the garments with the fringes, you know what I mean, down to the foot, we wearing three-piece suits and all of that. We wearing purple. You know what I mean? This is what America has done to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is what happens. And it's because these other nations know that they only dealing with us. So just to bring it back full circle, let me go back and share this screen. This is why this is why you see these two different versions of the Hebrew. You know what I mean? So you go back to the Hebrew, and at first, you know what I mean, we wrote and read this version of Hebrew that you see at the top. You know what I mean? The pictographical characters at the top. But because of what I just read in Second Maccabees, the 6th chapter, we had to assimilate, or our oppressor made it unlawful and punishable by unaliving to be a Jew, to profess yourself to be a Jew, and to keep your culture and to keep your identity and things like that. So we had to kind of disguise our language to, you know what I mean, to try to preserve our lives. All right. But which goes into, you know what I mean, the reason why, and we might have to do we're gonna do a part 2 next week. This is just kind of like the intro or the backdrop, the foundation of what we about to go into. But this one, as you can see, it's a little bit more complex than the original. You know what I mean? It's just like what you'll see is there's 22, I believe, characters of the Lashawan Qadash alphabet. Abba, Gada, Hawa, Zakata, Yaka, Lama, Nasa, I, Pata, Zakwa, Rasha, and Ta. I mean, but what you see in the Assyrian at the bottom, some of these characters got two different characters. Like I believe there's 5 of them. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them that have 2 characters. And what that represents, I don't know if you can see this on the screen. It's like you. I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but it says, use these letters if letters above fall at the end of the word. So if you see like this right here, this is a ka. But if you see a ka at the end of a word, you'll see it written like this as opposed to this. Same with the ma. This is a ma at the beginning or the middle of a word. And then this is what a ma will look like if it comes at the end. This is a na, beginning, middle, and then this is at the end. Same with the pa and the tazah, right? But it's just a little bit more. It's just a little bit more complex, all right. And also, there's a lot of characters because again, we assimilated our culture and our language and the way that we wrote to the way that the Assyrians wrote. So a lot of the characters kind of look similar. Like and we'll go into the details. We'll go into the details here in a second. You got some of them that are more distinct than others. Like the I's pretty unique, the G's pretty unique. You got the La is pretty unique. You got a couple characters that are pretty unique and don't really share any similarities with any other character. The Kwa, the Sha. But then you got a couple characters that kind of look the same. Like you got the and I'll start with this. We'll start with this, and then we'll kind of go into we'll go into a little more. We'll pick up next week. But you got a couple characters that kind of look the same, like the da, the wa, the za, the ya, the ka at the end of a word, the na at the end of a word, the ra. They kind of all look like different different shaped sevens. Just to give you an idea. All right. So especially if you're new to the Lashawan Qadash, new to learning it, writing it, reading it, what I tend to do, or what I did when I first started learning, this is just what I did. And Lord willing, this method can help brothers be able to not only write the Lashawan Qadash more confidently, but be able to read the Lashawan Qadash more confidently. All right. But what I did when I first started learning the Lashawan Qadash, especially the Assyrian, is I took each character that looked similar to another character, and I honed in on the specific details that was different about each one, so that I could distinguish one character from the other. And it was tedious. It was real tedious. It took some time, took some effort. But, this is our language and this is our culture. So I would hope that it's worth it to, to get out of captivity. If it means that I'm going to get out of captivity, I would pray that brothers and sisters share my sentiments. And, and saying that, it's worth going into those details and being able to distinguish each one of those characters from one another. All right. If it means my freedom, if it means that I'm no longer going to have to serve the oppressor, I'm no longer going to have to serve the East Indians or the Asians, I'm never going to have to see a Chinatown or a Bollywood ever again. And Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't have to live under such a, cruel, nation of people or nations of people. Then it's worth that extra work. Most High in Christ sees the car one. All right. So with that, I'm gonna show you what I mean. All right. So if you could, your brothers and sisters, just try to follow along with me. All right. So we was talking about let me use this example. All right, so you got the da. The wa. Za. Ya. Ka at the end. Not at the end of a word. And I'm gonna just squeeze this on there. Ra, and I believe that's it. Yeah, we'll start with those. All right. And then I'm gonna just do this. Good night. All right. Now, Salakia. I wasn't even sharing my screen. Salakia. All right. I'm gonna finish this example because this is probably the most complex part right here. This is the most tedious part, right? This is why I'm starting with this because it's a perfect example of why I spent so much time distinguishing between each character. But this is probably the most tedious and what I've noticed that brothers and sisters kind of had the most trouble with as far as like distinguishing each character. All right. So close some of these tabs. Lord willing, that'll help speed up. Salakia. All right. Good night. All right, I'm gonna just let me undo this. Salakia. Bear with me. All right. All right, so let me actually write it in blue. All right, so this is a da. All right. Da. This is wa. And if y'all watching online and y'all participating online, what I would do is just write this down, all right? I will write this down in your notes so that you can identify each difference, all right? Because this is going to help you. This is where brothers and sisters kind of get discouraged and get lost. I see brothers and sisters stumble all the time, confusing this character for that character and this, that, and the third. So this is going to help you a lot, all right? All right. But it's going to be real important, all right? And then Ra. All right, so I put the red line is like it's for reference, right? So pretend like you writing on a piece of paper. Or like if you reading on Bible Hub like we usually do during Sabbath service or Blue Letter Bible, depending on what resource you use, or you read in a concordance, it's not gonna have lines, obviously. But some characters extend past other characters. So that's the first thing you want to note. All right. So the red line is kind of like the base, like the standard length of like characters, right? And some of those characters extend past it, and some of those characters are one that you can easily identify. We're gonna start with those. First of all, the Yah. You know what I mean? You see the Yah way up here. You see the Yah. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but the Yah way up here, it's the smallest character. So that should be the easiest, one of the easiest of all of these characters. All these examples I got up here, that should be the easiest to identify. All right. So the Yah is the smallest. That's how you identify that. So we're all right. So we good on that. And then you got these two characters over here. They extend past the baseline. So, the Assyrian Hebrew is kind of like a linear language, meaning like it's a lot of lines and boxes and things like that. So it's real like I don't know how to describe it, but it's just lines and dashes and things like that in boxes, right? And each one of those characters pretty much are like they line up with one another, right? But then you got these two characters that extend just a little past how the normal or the usual characters extend. Like, and I know this Za right here doesn't go all the way down, but typically you'll see it go all the way down. Like you'll just see it go all the way down. It'll line up with all these characters. All right. I would just draw. Of course I ain't had a line here before, so I was just drawing freehand. But you get the point. I pray. You know what I mean? But these two, they extend past. So the ka at the end of a word and a na when it comes at the end of a word, it extends past the line. All right. Now you got the da, za, and ra, or wa as well. All right, we're gonna distinguish between those four real quick, and then we're gonna pick up. We're gonna pick it up again next week from here. But I just wanted to identify. I just wanted to show you the specifics of why we going into this and why it's so important. All right, but so the characters that's left. So we went over the ya, the ka, and the na. Their distinctions should be pretty straightforward. Now, these are the ones that I see brothers and sisters get tripped up on the most. You know what I mean? Because they pretty much look the same. It's just some slight differences. All right. Matter of fact, let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and circle a couple things. All right. So this right here. Salakia. Oh my God. Salakia. Salakia, bear with me. This thing will act right. Salakia. All right. Salakia. So I just part. Salakia that took so long. All right. On each of these characters. Oh my God. Oh my God. Salakia. Thing's acting crazy. Bruh. Salakia. Give me 1 second. This thing is getting real squirrely on me. All right. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. All right, but y'all let me know if y'all can see the point I'm getting at. I don't want to. Oh my God. Can't keep acting crazy. There we go. Good night. All right. Salakia. That was doing too much. All right. All right. But okay, so that back end right there is what you wanna pay attention to. So those is gonna be how you identify these characters. Again, I see a lot of brothers and sisters, they'll have trouble when they come up against these characters. You know what I mean? And these ain't the only ones, but these are the most common ones. Where brothers will call a Ra, a Da, Ra, a Da, a Wa. Get the Wa's and Za's mixed together. You know what I mean? But to be able to identify each one, you just gotta be able to identify what's different about them so that you can identify that. You know what I mean? Because if you're just looking at it, you're gonna get everything mixed up, and then that's where brothers and sisters quit. All right. But what I got circled is the most distinct. Those are the most distinct differences of each of those characters. All right. You see the rod got kind of a rounded end right there, as opposed to the da, which is an angle, a straight right angle, and it extends just a little bit past the line that goes down. You got your wa. It's an angle, but it's not a perfect right angle like the da. Right, it's kind of more of an obtuse angle. You know what I mean? And then the wa and the za are similar. The only difference between the wa and the za is the za kind of it's an obtuse angle as well, but it extends a little bit past where the wa doesn't do that. All right. So that's the best way to identify, you know what I mean, the differences. Right. And then you got, oh man, Lord be with me with this. I'm gonna try to circle some more stuff. Oh Jesus Christ. But I ain't gonna bother with this. I'm gonna try to next week. Lord willing, I'll be able to get in the in the class and do it on the whiteboard. So we ain't gotta worry about none of this. This laptop glitching on me. But you also see the na and the ka as well. They got those angles. And sometimes you might have to identify the differences between those as well. Because I see it doesn't happen too often, but sometimes a brother or sister will confuse a na and a ka with any of these other characters as well. All right. But these kind of it kind of zigzag, for lack of better description. All right. But you see these, like the rest of these characters, they go straight down. Like the da goes straight down. The wa goes straight down. The za goes straight down. The ra, it curves and goes straight down. This one goes out, or it's got the top line and then the bottom line. It comes in a little bit and then comes down and extends past the line that you were right on. Same with the na. It comes down and then it comes in a little bit and it extends down. All right, but if you're able to identify and distinguish between those things, then you'll be able to work on your penmanship. And then that's what you want to accent when or not accent, but that's what you want to focus on rather when you writing, so that you don't misconstrue. Because remember, you writing. So if you writing to somebody and if you write this character but you mean this character, then you can end up saying something totally different, or you can end up saying nothing at all. You know what I mean? So it's important for you to just work on your penmanship and focus on these things when you do. All right, with that, we're going to end it right there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you, this was a real quick, example. But what you could do is take a screenshot just so you can kind of have it in your notes or have it as a preparation for, future classes. Write it down, or take a screenshot so that maybe you could write it down, practice later, and then we're going to pick up right from right here for next class. All right. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, share it with your loved ones. And as the class is ending, if you got more questions, of course, Zakarwa, you can always, I see you said the Assyrian is easy to write, but the ancient is hard. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. I haven't really heard or seen too many brothers or sisters that said that. You know what I mean? But if you want to get into the Assyrian, or if you want to get into the ancient as well, we could work on the penmanship with the Assyrian as well. Of course, you feel free to you can always call and text me or message me or whatever the case is. Feel free, Zakarwan. You ain't gotta, and this goes for anybody too. You could feel free to, hit me up or hit up whoever's over the Lashawan Qadash in your zone. But if I don't know if Dallas got a Lashawan Qadash brother out there, but if not, you feel free to hit me up and ask questions morning, noon, and night. It don't really matter. And you can always any brother or sister, you can always hit that QR code in that top corner as well, and I'll be in that chat. If you got any Lashawan Qadash related questions, I'll be in that chat as well to answer all your questions. All right. With that, we'll go ahead and give a courtesy salute to the brothers. We'll say Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakathum to all the brothers, and Shalom Yahweh Shemar Lathan by Hashem Yahushua to all the sisters.